March of 1884 came with a cold that refused to leave, the last snow clinging to the shadows the same way grief clung to the heart. On the edge of San Pedro Valley, where dry hills rolled into sunburned prairie, a crooked house leaned toward the west as if it was too tired to keep standing. The land around it was quiet and worn, shaped by wind and loss. Inside that house, silence carried weight. Only the low crackle of the fire and the shallow breathing of children broke it. Martha Langley stood at the stove, staring down into a pan of flour and water, as if it might tell her what to do next. Her shoulders curved inward. Her dress hung loose at the collar where it once fit better. The baby on her hip was hot with fever, his skin damp, his eyes unfocused. Outside, her oldest boy split wood with sharp, angry swings. He was 12 and already carried the kind of rage that grief leaves behind. There were 7 mouths to feed and 1 fresh grave. Nathan Langley had been gone 8 weeks, buried under frozen ground that barely allowed her to dig. Pneumonia took him fast, too fast for goodbyes or settling debts. Since then, the cows had grown thin and weak. One died slow the week before. The last horse limped and carried a cloudy eye. There was no feed left worth measuring, no man to trade with, no neighbor close enough to call on without leaving the children alone. The wind scratched at the windows like it wanted inside. Martha turned and set the skillet on the table. It was only half full. The twins looked up at her with wide eyes. No one asked if there was more. They already knew. She poured herself coffee, boiled thin and black, tasting like mud. Her hand shook, and the mug clinked hard against the tin plate. She stared down at her fingers, cracked skin, deep cuts, one nail torn clean off. She did not remember when it happened. The sound of the axe stopped. The door creaked open. Henry stepped inside, sweat on his brow, a split log in his arms. He set it down near the fire. "Cold is coming back," he said. She nodded. That was all they said anymore. Her knees buckled just slightly, not enough to fall. She caught herself on the table, knuckles white. She had not cried in weeks, not when the baby almost died. Now, not when she realized no one was coming. Then the wind shifted. Hooves sounded in the distance. One rider. Martha stiffened. The children went still. No one came this far without reason. The last stranger had come with a deed claim. She reached behind the door and took down the shotgun. When she stepped onto the porch, her boots sank into half-frozen mud. The rider came